Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1286. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Café Anyway. What happened to my voice? I turned into smoker voice all of a sudden. Located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont. I don't smoke. Here at the last place on earth. It's a non-smoking bar. If you're into smoking, fine. Do it outside, out in the fresh air.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
There's too much fresh air. You've got to make it full of cigarette smoke. That's what I think is John Deere, the engineer's coming up.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Floyd the Floorman and a lady named Chely Shoehart. And here I am doing this little part of the show where I sing to you and then I yell about my phone, cause when I try to put little notes into my phone, little thoughts,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I freaking can't do it. I'm like, I got a great idea. So first off, I gotta type in the
Mike's
little code
Daily
to let me into the phone
Podcast.
And then I get in there and then I try and type. I get into the memo app, and then I try and type, and it won't type. And then meanwhile, my dog is pulling me every direction. Basil the boxer, who's in today's podcast picture today. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. And we also got the segment, The Word of Dog, and also ridiculous random posts. We'll also get to the Royal Trump tweet decree and a little bit of MASTERPOD theater. Oh boy, it's packed today, my friend. Packed. Let's talk about Tears for Fears. Just momentarily, if you may. If I may. And you may let me do this. Tears for Fears had this huge song called Everybody Wants to Rule the World that you've heard ad nauseum. Perhaps you like the song still. I don't know. Cafe, I don't know. Wait a minute. It's Café Anyway. And usually I have that cool little thing right here that goes...
Anyway.
Thank you. What happened then? It was basically two guys, Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal. And if you ever watched the TV show Psych, which I think you should, I loved it because it takes place in Santa Barbara, where I went to school, UCSB, where I also met a young Sean Hannity. Look who just walked in. Not now. Thank God. No, Sean Hannity's not young anymore. He's a little bit older than me, so he's old. He, and I would see him at KCSB. He was a nice guy back then. Turned into this raging conservative and got a lot of money. But my point being that Kurt Smith of Tears for Fears shows up on Psych a lot, which is interesting because I remember Tears for Fears playing at the Santa Barbara Bowl. I did not get to go to that show, but I remember it being like everybody that I knew in college had went to that show, and it's actually up on YouTube. But what happened was Kurt Smith and Roland Orzabal had a falling out, and Roland Orzabal took over Tears for Fears and did his own thing for 2 albums. And I love those albums. The first one was called Elemental. The second was Raoul and the Kings of Spain. I love those albums. Look who else just walked in. Then they got back together again, and then they went a little bit Beatlesque on Sowing the Seeds of Love, and that album that was just called The Seeds of Love, wasn't it? And then the one they did like in the early O's was so Beatle-y. It was very cool. So as far as I know, they're still touring together. And the problem is, as with it's a big problem with many old bands, is they can't do any new stuff because the fans just want to hear the hits, and it sucks. Because they're still creative and they still want to put out new stuff, but they can't because they've painted themselves in a corner. It's not their fault. It's just that they had such success. But they're creative and they still come out with stuff. Oh, Elemental. Elemental had the album Break It Down Again. No more sleepy dreaming. It had this cool beat to it. Dun 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 dun. Well, hey, I kind of went into Alien Ant Farm there. Dun 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 dun. Ow! Michael Jackson. Well, we went all over the place, and I hope you enjoyed taking that little ride with me. But look who's here. Mike Matthews, that was a wonderful story. I would love to see Tears for Fears in concert. Would you like any of their new stuff? No. I just want to hear Everybody Wants World of Love. And I want Bob to take me. Ah, yes, your boyfriend Bob. I love my boyfriend Bob. That's good. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer, Mike, Roland Orzabal, and Kurt Smith. We're very good with the synthesizer way back when. Are you smoking? Do you have a smoker's voice? No. I have a little bit of a cold. Oh, okay. Smoking's bad, okay? What you want to do is avoid smoking. Don't do it. It looks like a flaming middle finger.
That is not appropriate behavior, okay?
Smoking, when you're smoking. I talked about that in a previous show. There's another, so my phone, I try and put these thoughts into it, and I freaking, it won't let me. And it's not the Samsung, it's who's that other big company? They're named after a fruit of some sort. I had one of their phones, same issue. I have thoughts, and I don't want to pull out a pen and paper.
Here's today's podcast picture.
And walk around with a pad of paper. That's what I did. Oh, it's a podcast picture. I'll tell you in just a second. I walked around for about 10 years with a man bag, a man purse. What do you want to call it? A newspaper delivery guy bag. A satchel. And what was the line from Hangover? And I have actually a t-shirt that says this. It's not a purse. Indiana Jones had one. I would keep a pad of paper and pen in there, and actually it was all used paper. It was all, not used, but scratch paper, because I like to recycle things. And so I would pull that out if I had an idea, and I'd write it down in this, but I'd be walking around with a purse all day. A purse. What's happening to my voice? I don't know. So, Cafe, I don't know. I mean, Anyway. Thank you. And that's what happened. I would come up with these ideas, and now you have a phone, and it's great. You can write stuff down. Okay, on to a different topic. We've spent a lot of time here. Let's get to the segment. We got a couple segments to get to. First off, the royal tweets thing.
The Royal Trump Tweet Decree.
Our president, our tweeter in chief, our carrot in chief, whatever you want to call him, he had a couple of interesting tweets. One of them, he was at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History, Culture yesterday as part of African American Month, Black History Month. And he wrote down on his Twitter, "I very much enjoyed my tour of the museum. Great job done by amazing people." And then, but just before that, he wrote, "One thing I will say about Representative Keith Ellison in his fight to lead the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, is that he was the one who predicted early that I would win. He was right. He was not wrong." And just before that, he posted, "The so-called angry crowds in home districts of some Republicans are actually, in numerous cases, planned out by liberal activists. Period. Sad." And he knows what's bad and what's good. And, yeah, what does he know?
I know what's good and bad.
Okay, good. Thank you for that decree. If you want to hear all the past podcasts and you want to help out the show, go to MikeSallyPodcast.com if it's still up, if he hasn't taken it down. Donald, please. All I want for you is to make that dream I had of you come true. Where I was going to record an interview with you on my phone. This is my really lame New York accent, Brooklyn accent, Brooklyn. and I record you on my phone, and you in turn say, Mike, you're taking forever to open that app to record me. Use my phone, and you pulled out your gold-laden phone, and then you let me use it, and then we dance together into the sunset. The end. Well, let's see. What did we do? What did we want to do? So Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Check that out. It's great, and you can help out the show. Because I know you want to. Because you're shopping on Amazon anyway. So click on that Amazon link. There's also the PayPal if you'd like to donate that way. And you'll get a special greeting from all the Café Anyway characters. You can see all the past podcast pictures. Today's podcast picture is of Basil. And he's barking at the bay at the Carquinez Strait. We're in Benicia, and you can kind of see Martinez across the bay. And I love that little area, that little beach you can let your dog run around on. And check that picture out now at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Okay, speaking of dogs.
The word of dog.
And it's not only the word of dog, it's also
Mike's Daily Podcast MASTERPOD Theater.
Burger Master.
I have a little bit of theater for you. I'd like to read you a poem. When you get a dog, you can't moan and whine that you have to walk your dog. There's no question behind it. Yes, you have to walk your dog and you can't complain. If the dog is barking or the dog gets sick and makes you insane, it's your fault, because you need to walk that dog. You don't walk the dog enough, that's why he's sick. Walk him around, throw him a stick. When you dog, you can't mind that you have to walk your dog. There is a frog on a log. I believe in the word of dog. There is no question about it. Yes, you have to walk your dog. And you can't complain if the dog is barking at home. The dog's got a lot of energy. He needs to roam. If the dog gets sick, it's because of you. You haven't walked your dog enough, boo-hoo. You must walk the dog. There it is now. Walk the dog. Walk it, walk it, walk the dog. Walk the dinosaur. I walk the dinosaur. I walk the dinosaur. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. That band was called Was Not Was. No ifs, ands, and buts. You must do this. Don't be in a rut. Walk your dog. You need to pick up the poop. If you don't, I will go over there and punch you in the snoot. Because you need to pick up the poop, Robert. Damn it, Robert. Pick up the poop, Robert. It's your fault, Robert. And now Robert has a dog. And it's like, Robert getting a dog is like Mitt Romney getting a dog. And that's wrong. Because Mitt Romney puts dogs on top of his roof. And then the dog has to go woof. Get me off this roof. Woof, woof. I learned about this poem. To make sure the dog is on a leash. Make sure the dog is on a leash. Don't let your dog off leash, Robert. And let your dog roam around and poop on people's lawns. That's wrong, 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 wrong. Don't let your dog poop on other people's lawns. And keep your dog on leash. If you don't, to the people around you, everyone and each to each, the dog could put them into peril. My name is Meryl Streep. That's the end. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful poem. Now, I'd like to get to, we have one other segment to get to, because we have so many segments in today's show, and that is this wonderful one called Ridiculous Random Posts.
Ridiculous Random Posts.
This is I'm going to zip through these. These are posts on MSN. Not on Facebook, on MSN. Kellyanne Conway is disputing a report that she has been sidelined from TV appearances by the Trump administration. CNN is saying that Conway's absence from TV came as a result of her being off message, talking about Michael Flynn. Conway has been disputing this account and told reporters that she expects... what's it say? Okay, she went on Fox News to dispute it. And, okay, who cares? Next story. Turkey is going to lift a historic ban on female officers wearing the Islamic headscarf in the officially secular country's armed forces. The military was the final Turkish institution where women were prohibited from wearing the headscarf after the reforms by the Islamic-rooted government under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. That has allowed its wearing in education, politics, and the police. The move, ordered by the Defense Ministry, applies to the female officers working in the General Staff and Command headquarters and branches. Women may wear the headscarf underneath their cap or beret, so long as it is the same color as their uniform, does not cover their face. And finally, the U.S. Secretaries of State and Homeland, we're talking Rex Tillerson, Homeland Security. The U.S., he is going to meet with Mexico's president today, seeking to ease diplomatic tensions over the President Donald Trump trade and immigration policies. With the country's relations at their most strained in years, Enrique Peña Nieto will host U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Homeland Security Chief John Kelly. Trump angered Mexico by vowing to build a wall, as you know. He said this:
I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. And I'll build them very inexpensively.
Peña Nieto last month canceled a meeting after Trump insisted he would make Mexico pay for the wall. The U.S. Secretary of State Department said in a statement the officials will discuss, quote, border security, law enforcement cooperation, and trade, among other issues. Hopefully they can patch this thing up. Mexico, which announced the visit last week, said it was aimed at building a respectful, close, and constructive relationship between the two countries. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, was it John Kelly, Homeland Security Chief John Kelly, got basically turned away from the White House because they did a background check on him, on the security chief, and it came up like there was issues, and he could not be admitted into the White House. This is something I just heard on C-SPAN. I don't know, I can't back this up. It could be but somebody on Trump's team got turned away from the White House due to some kind of background check that didn't work out. Maybe that's another story for another show, but enjoy your day. Next show, we're going to have Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And Chely Shoehart, please say hi to Bob for me. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!